we have with us Rocky Kitzmiller, who's the owner, operator, leader, organizer, CEO, and uh, and head trainer,
Only trainer.
and that does it all. And so she's with us. She's been with us the last couple of years. We've had incredible classes that she's done. She kicks us off every January with something inspirational, which is fantastic. And typically, we've talked about working out in the past, and we've talked about nutritional things, diet in the past. We touch upon a little bit of that tonight, but really the big thing for tonight is about setting up goals. And before we get too far down that road, what I want to do is, and Rocky, if you would just take a minute and say, you know, here you are, this personal trainer, mom, wife, doing all the things that you do, balancing everything, and talk to us about a little bit how you got into personal training and what keeps you going in with personal training, and maybe it'll inspire us for us that start and stop maybe a little bit more often than we would like to. And go ahead and just kind of take the floor and take us through your presentation.
All right. All right. Thanks, Dr. Bob. So I've been personal training for at least 10 years. I feel like I'm probably around 11. I did work in the fitness beforehand and including school and internships. Now, I mean, what kind of keeps me going? I mean, obviously it's the success of my clients. It's like, I love what I do. I enjoy going into work. I enjoy the people that I work with. I love when I get new people and maybe they have an issue with a shoulder that hurts or something different that's going on, or they have a different health issue. Like I love to dig in and try and, be creative and see how I can help them and fix them and keep them going throughout that. So, but I like what I do. So that's kind of what keeps me going.
Right.
So,
How did you get into personal training?
well, I've always wanted to do something health related. I always thought I wanted to be a doctor, and then I saw how much school you had to do, and then that kind of scared me away. And then I
Yeah,
probably actually went to school longer than most doctors
yeah,
with all my degrees. So here I am. I probably should have went and been a doctor, but who knows? It's all right. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. So I just like to help people. I like people to be healthy. I want people to feel good and take care of themselves.
perfect. Well, thank you tonight for coming in and doing this class on goals. Goals is something, I read about all the time. I try and get all my goals set and done at the beginning of each year to, they always said that your chance of hitting them are much higher if you have them than if you don't, right? So, uh,
Right.
and I'm glad that it's not me doing the class this year on goal setting, and then it's somebody else, and everybody gets to hear it from somebody else as well. So, but let's go ahead and pop your presentation up, and let's go ahead and get rolling.
Okay. All right. All right. I have it up. Does everybody, you see that? Okay.
I can.
Okay, perfect. All right, so grabbing goals by the horns. That's just kind of what I thought would be a really great name for what we're going at. So this is just a little bit about me. We kind of discussed that really quick. I'm a Navy wife, mother of two, a dog mom. There's Frosty. He likes to visit the clients in the gym. And I run a business. So I have a lot of education. As you can see, I should have been the doctor, right? And lots of certificates. I like continuing education. I like to keep learning new things. Whether it's a different exercise tool or if it's something that digs into a little deeper part of your health. So I just put like a little thing down there at the bottom. I try to keep things realistic, simple, and attainable. So that's just a little bit about me. That's my family there in that picture. Okay, so Dr. Bob shot me some questions And I really liked the questions. I thought they were really great questions, and they actually got me thinking as well. So what we have here is the difference between having a vision and setting a goal. So he asked me what the difference was. So I love to get like definitions of things. So right here, I found the definition of vision. It's a vivid, imaginative conception or anticipation. Visions of wealth and glory was their example. So obviously what a vision is you see something, you want something, you can see it happening in your life, you can feel it around you. It's kind of like you see where you want to be. A goal, the actual definition, the result or achievement toward which effort is directed, aim, or end. And how they explained it, her goal was clear: to get accepted to Yale. So for a goal, you know what you want, you have to make a plan there, and you actually have to work. And the work is the key difference between a goal and a vision. Like you're doing something to get where you want to be. Dr. Bob's next question was how I like to categorize my goals. So I think there's a lot of different categories that you can put things in. I may not even be hitting all of them. I think of the different aspects of health, your personal health. So you can hit there and get into your health, your diet, your exercise, your achievements. That's something not necessarily health related, but it affects your mood and your emotional health. So definitely personal achievements, your financial, your employment. You can have goals that set that. Like if you're miserable in your job, it's going to affect everything. So but it also affects your finances, depending whether it's good or bad. Spiritual health, your spiritual health, I think is one of the most important. I'm not necessarily, do you have to be into a religion, but just having that spiritual wellness, that's definitely a category. And environmental, your environmental health is truly key. Like the things that are around you, the things that are in your environment, that plays a big role in how you feel, how things work, how things operate in your day to day. So those were just some of the categories. And Dr. Rob, you might have some other categories that you like to hit when you categorize goals. I don't know. So he asked me about goal size and time frame. So obviously there's big goals, there's small goals. And I like to equate small goal, big goals with long term and small goals with short term. I like simple and hard. Those can kind of fall into those just as well. And when I look at goals too, like I like to take those big goals and those long-term goals. And if any of you were in with my sessions with Dr. Bob the past couple of years, I have discussed how I like to take those big goals and I like to break them into small little pieces. So a common analogy for that would be water. If you're supposed to drink 100 ounces of water a day, I'm not sure, specifically what everyone in here is supposed to drink, but let's pretend it's 100. And so my first question to you would be, how much do you drink on a regular basis? Let's pretend you say, well, I drink probably maybe 30 ounces a day. Well, I like to break those into small little pieces. So I'm like, all right, so how about this week? Why don't you work on drinking 40 ounces every day? So you're only adding 10 ounces of water, to what you're normally drinking. And then you just each week, you can add 5 or 10 more ounces of water. It's the same thing with taking things away. I've had a client in the past that loves dessert. And I'm like, okay. I was like, can we do this in Hershey Kisses? And the same thing. So she's like, yeah, I love Hershey Kisses. I'm like, perfect. I would like to let you have, let's say, I think I said 15 Hershey Kisses every single day. Okay. Because she likes her dessert every day. She's like, okay, cool. We did that. The next week, I'm like, all right, you're only allowed to have 14. The week after that, 13. Week after that, 12. You got where I'm going. So it's just slow, simple. She didn't feel like it was hard. She didn't feel like she was being deprived of ever anything, but slowly it was less and less and less. And then adding the water, it's slowly more and more and more. And it's, and you can do that with, so many different things in your life. Things don't have to be really super big changes. So time frames, when you get into the time frame of things, that's totally dependent on your personal success. Let's say you get to that 50 ounces of water and you had a really hard time with that. You're like, wow, this is really hard. Like, to drink 50 ounces, I feel like I'm drinking water all day long. Okay, cool. Stick with 50 ounces for a couple weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but that's where you have to be disciplined enough, honed in on what you can do, instead of tossing that towel in and saying, forget it, I can't do this anymore. So you keep working and trying, to keep working to that big goal, that long-term goal. But time frame, you can put a date on it. You can give yourself 6 months. Who cares? It's like, it's going to take me 6 months to drink 100 ounces of water every day on a regular basis. Cool. Let it take 6 months. You know what? Because when you get to that point in 6 months, when you're drinking your 100 ounces, you can look back and be like, I remember how hard it was, to drink the 50 ounces or whatever it is. But, give yourself some time. And like I said, at the very bottom there, I say have some grace and a lot of grit. So you got to be able to dig in and do what you want, but have grace and understanding that sometimes things aren't going to be perfect. And that doesn't mean that you have to give up. Like, you can be understanding that life happens, and you need to sometimes take a step back and work, because I can promise that things aren't smooth roads. I've never seen anybody just go straight to their goal, without a hitch. Like, there's always a hitch. And that's where you come up with a really great game plan. So moving on to eyes on the prize, how do you stay focused? Because, sometimes it truly is hard, because like I said, life happens. I have never seen somebody go through their goals without a hitch. Okay. There's always going to be a hitch, especially if it means adding more vegetables to your diet. I don't know what it is about vegetables, but I always have a hard time getting people to eat more vegetables. So if you want to make that your 2021 goal, please, I would be super happy for that. But either way, how to stay focused, obviously keeping your eyes on the prize. Like, what is your prize? Like, is it you just want to wake up feeling good? You want to feel clear. You just want to be happy. You want to feel good in your skin. You want to just, live life and just be relaxed. So whatever your prize is, stay focused on that. Create reminders in your day. If it's a reminder to drink your water, or you make a vision board, make a vision board, have something there that you see on a regular basis that's going to keep you motivated to whatever it is that you're wanting to do. I love accountability partners. If you've got a friend that has similar things, or your spouse, or, somebody that's in your home, a child. I've seen a lot of parents work with their kids. They're, more usually in the teen side, but, and older, but they're great people to work with. Make sure, obviously, your sleep and your stress management plan is there. Like, you have to be able to manage your stress. You have to get sleep, because let me tell you what, when I'm tired and cranky, I can tell you what I'm not thinking about. And it's not, making sure I get my 5 servings of vegetables in a day. It's, I just don't care, because I'm tired and I'm grumpy. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. So stress management plan, how do you deal with your stress? Having a cocktail is maybe not, your best stress management plan. Maybe learning how to meditate, find things that are going to calm you down. Go for a walk. I love walks. Walks are really great stress management things. but definitely getting enough sleep. I mean, I think once you have sleep, I feel like everything is possible when you have a good night's sleep. So always working in on that. And I think a really big thing too, and really the biggest thing, is to know yourself. Reflect on your past experiences when you've tried to work towards a goal. What got in your way? Did you get in your way? Did somebody in your household get in your way? Do you have a hard time in social situations? Like, where do you fail at? And that's where you need to make a plan. Is it, I had a client at one point that traveled a lot. So before they left for their travel, I was like, okay, let's make a game plan. Like, let's decide how we're going to tackle eating out for every meal. And we did. We sat down and we made a plan. I was like, okay, you can allow yourself to have a cocktail with dinners only, and you're only allowed to have one, and you can have dessert only one of the nights, and we sat down and we made it realistic, but not where you feel deprived. Because when you feel deprived, that's when things go down the tube. And I want people to realize that, give yourself a little bit of flexibility too. Things don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be strict, because all of that isn't realistic, and it's not stuff that's going to happen. And if you can see, excuse me, there at the bottom, I said be selfish. Like, I'm not saying be like a jerk selfish, but it's cool to only think about yourself for a little bit, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of anybody else. We can't take care of our things. We can't do our jobs as well as we could have. But being selfish sometimes is totally okay. And actually, a lot of times it's okay. You got to take care of your things, but being selfish and taking care of you, there is nothing wrong with that. So make sure you guys always, reflect and make sure that you are taking care of you. Hold on, this thing's not wanting to turn. All right, so I kind of flew through a lot of that. So, but I wanted you guys, the ready, set, go. Here it is. How can you get started with all of this stuff? Like, how, like I was saying in the last slide, reflect on what's worked for you. Reflect on what hasn't worked for you. It doesn't have to be some crazy complicated plan. You might only work on drinking your water for the whole next month. That's cool. It's fine. Your body's benefiting from the extra bit of water. If you feel like you can handle a little bit more than just your water, then add a little bit more than just your water. But you gotta know who you are. You gotta know what you can do. Gotta know what you can't do, and you got to know when, things are just too much, because when you have things that are just too much, you're not going to do those things. So, if you need to research, sit down and make a plan, look things up, see what you think you need to do. A lot of times when we're talking about diet, I think, one of the best ways to be honest with yourself is to actually track what you're eating and what you're consuming, like measure your food out. That's a real eye opener I have found for people, is to track their food, and how much they're eating. And you can see, like, okay, like, let's look at this. Like, am I getting enough vegetables? Like, am I getting fruit in my day? Am I getting enough protein? Am I eating all my meals? Should I be eating some snacks? How much fiber am I getting in my diet? Sugar, fat, etc. You can really sit down and analyze this. It doesn't take too much background knowledge to be able to like reflect. And there's really great apps. I like MyFitnessPal. It's free, and it'll break down, and you'll be able to see if you're getting enough of what your body needs, and how they calculate their calories, how they calculate all their nutrition breakdown. That's the way I do it with my clients. Like, so I always turn my clients to my fitness pal, so I don't have to sit down and actually do the math. But I like how they set their stuff up. It's actually exactly how I was taught to do it in school. So that is where I tried to keep this as short as possible. And then just this last slide, I just put a little bit about my business. It's a small garage gym. I'm located in Kings Grant, really close to Rosemont Chiropractic. I do small group and private gym workouts. And then because of COVID, God bless it, it brought me to field workouts that are all body weight, and everybody is so spaced apart, and they have been really successful, and it's been quite a blessing, if you ask me. I've really enjoyed it. I've gotten to have a lot more new faces, and people feel really comfortable, and they make me get up early in the morning, which is totally fine. But I'm going to tell you what, some of the days it's 28 and 30 degrees, and I don't love it, but I love my people, so I do that. So that I think is all I got, and I'm trying to figure out how to turn this thing off now. Here we go. Let's see. There we go.
All right.
There we go. All right, Dr. Bob.
You're back.
That's everything.
So I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions right now. Let's now's the time to type into the chat. And while you're doing that, I actually have a cell phone. Sorry, I have a question. Rocky, I'm making notes like as you're talking, and I'm writing things down because I'm always like wanting to learn more stuff, right? So that's just my brain. But
I hear you.
So really important, you can't just have a goal in your head, right? It's got to be on a piece of paper. Like you gotta have it written down. You got to have it in front of your face. You got to have it constantly around you as much as you possibly can, because it's so easy, especially in the world we live in right now, to be distracted by other stuff that's going on that'll pull you away from your goal.
Right. Yeah. I think when you write things down, it makes things real, like you're like, wow, like it's a form of accountability. And I think it's a great form of accountability.
Yeah. And I love that you said grace and grit, because, a lot of us are, we're like, oh, I'm going to push through this. I'm going to do this. And then we get burned out, and then we don't give ourselves the grace along the way to have that continued effort as we go. And I think those are two great words. I wrote those down because I thought that was fantastic. I wrote down feeling deprived will lead you to failure. I thought that was phenomenal. And one last kind of question for you, which is like this: what do you see is the thing that makes most people quit on their goals or sabotages themselves? Or is there something that you see more consistently than other things that makes people not start or just quit part of the way in?
A lot of times, or I should say all the time that I've seen people quit is because they don't have that instant gratification. People like to see those things quick. I am such an instant gratification person too, just in life in general. Like, I'm looking for a couch right now. Darn it. Everything's taken like 12 weeks. I'm like, no, I want my couch, right? I want the instant gratification. I like that. And that's what people like. But the thing is, and that's why I like to take the goals into really small pieces. Like, yes, I killed the 40 ounces of water, like, I want people to set themselves up for success. And that's why I like to do the small little things, and, whether it's like, even if you're trying to work out, like start working out on a regular basis, like 6 days a week, that is so not realistic for most people. Like, you're setting yourself up to fail by doing that. But if you're like, I really just want to get, something in for 30 minutes twice a week, totally realistic. If you get more, wow, awesome, that's bonus.
Right.
So you know, you gotta take it little bits at a time. And I think that's where everybody, they try to take the whole cake and they want to eat all of it, and then they get a stomach ache, you know, and then
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
never eating cake again, right? But
Crazy
that's
mountain.
not, you know, that's not realistic for everybody. So I like the little bits. Set yourself up for success, you know. And it's even like school. Kids go into, you know, the first weeks of school, they're just repeating what they learned last year. What they're doing, they're building those kids' confidences, you know. They're making them like school, feel good, have the confidence, and then they want to, you know, learn more because they have that confidence there. So it's
Right.
the same thing with goals. Like little small goals will make a really, really big difference.
Yeah, I think, you know, I see the same thing on my side with patients, you know, that'll quit care, and they'll, you know, they're not getting better fast enough. You know, and then, but then we always have to say, well, really, what's better? Because we have people who will be like out there who are saying, well, I'm still having pain, but you can say that you can watch them get off the table and walk out the door when they crawled in and climbed onto the table crying the first day. So
Right.
we have to be able to say, what are we measuring? Is it, if somebody's saying, well, I want to lose weight, and they, you know, lost 10 pounds, and everybody plateaus, whether it's healing or losing weight or anything, your body
Absolutely.
starts to adapt to the changes that you're making.
Totally.
And then they want to quit because they hit this plateau, when really their body's the whole time becoming healthier. You know, you don't even know, like on a cellular structure, what it does just to drink water, like you're talking about. But what do you measure? I mean, if you just drinking water, you might lose 5 pounds in a year, right? Because you just drank
I
more
mean,
water,
yeah,
right?
totally. Yep.
But what is it doing? Every little cell in your body is working better. Your brain's working better. The blood's flowing better. I mean, there's so many other things that you can't tangibly measure from the drinking of the glass of water. But that's
Yep.
what we want. We want that. I want it right now.
Yep. That's the instant gratification.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's a good the saboteur.
Yep. I mean, I do like instant gratification too. So I get it.
Good. I don't see any questions in my chat side. Do you have any questions? If you look down to your bottom,
Yeah, I
nothing's
haven't.
popped up.
But if anybody has any, now's the chance, since this will be ending here pretty soon. But
Yeah, we only got a
yeah.
couple minutes left. So let's do this. Number one, how do they contact you if they want more of what you're offering with the workouts and the exercising and the diet planning and all that you do?
So they can look me up on social media. That is both Facebook, it's under Rock Body Dash Fitness. And the same thing with Instagram, I'm Rock Body _ Fitness. So they don't do the dashes in Instagram, but also I will put in the chat my cell phone number. And you guys are welcome to send me text messages, call me. If you call, please leave a message, because I always have my phone on silence, because my music plays through my phone with my clients and they don't want to hear little chimers. But there in the chat right now is my cell phone. Like I said, be sure you leave a message, or you can shoot me a text. And if you want to have a free consultation, I'll sit down and talk to you, you know, whether it be on phone or in person. If you want to come in and check the space out, I would love to have everybody.
Yeah, beautiful. And I mean, if anybody wants to, you know, you can reach out to Rosemont Chiropractic. We have her information available to give out. We work with her a great deal. She's an amazing trainer. The last couple of years, she's kicked off our year with our classes. Just you know, when we first started talking about bringing Rocky in, I'm always conscious about and uh, maybe hesitant a little bit about bringing another speaker in front of my patients, because I don't know if they're going to say something different than I would want to promote, or anything that I think is what's really ultimately right for somebody. And man, I mean, Rocky was like right on target with everything she said. And so she's welcome back anytime to come speak. We love having her. And we will record this. It is going to get posted. It takes us a little bit of time to get it edited and put up and everything. but it will be up on our Rosemont Chiropractic YouTube page as well. So I see Lynn put a message up. Did you see that, Rocky?
Yeah, I guess I'm writing back. I guess I could have spoken back. Yeah. So Lynn,
Okay.
I wrote back. He was just saying that it's going to be put up, but we're sorry you had that problem getting in. And but please, if after you watch it later, Lynn, you can reach out to me, and I would love to answer any questions you might have.
Yep, we'll have it up soon. And then again, it's Rosemont Chiropractic at YouTube. And then basically just you go to YouTube, type in Rosemont Chiropractic, it'll come up, you'll see all of our classes there. And please get, what is it called? I'm blanking on the word now. That's so silly. Whatever you sign up for, or whatever you for the on YouTube, and so you get all the
follow you.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. Thank you.
There you go.
Silly word. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here this evening. Hopefully you got something out of this. Any questions, anything you have when you see me in the office, please feel free to ask. And please reach out to Rocky. She's fantastic. Rocky, thanks for taking time with your family tonight. A beautiful family from the picture. It is. So thank you so much for doing all you do for all of us. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.